10 best and worst countries for saving money. When we talk about the top savers among countries, we are really talking about which countries have the highest saving rates. These are not necessarily the nations with the highest incomes. For example, a country where the average person makes $10,000 and saves $2,000 would have a 20% savings rate. Another country where people save $20,000 per year out of $100,000 in income would also have a 20% savings rate. Furthermore, there are also different ways to save. People can save directly, businesses might save, and government agencies might also save. The National Savings Rate incorporates all of these different types of savings. As a practical matter, this article uses World Bank data on gross domestic saving rates and average incomes from 2018 and 2019. A wide variety of countries have high savings rates, and the reasons for saving are as diverse as the countries themselves. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on post notification so you don't get out to miss out on any of our subsequent videos. Thinking about living abroad but still want to add your bottom line? Watch on to find out which countries to consider and which you should skip. Best, Portugal. Portugal is a southern European country on the Iberian Peninsula, bordering Spain. Its location on the Atlantic Ocean has influenced many aspects of its culture. Salt cod and grilled sardines are national dishes. The Algarve's beaches are a major destination, and much of the nation's architecture dates back to the 1500s and 1800s, when Portugal had a powerful maritime empire. Portugal is becoming more and more popular with tourists, thanks in part to well-priced direct flights from cities on the east coast of the United States. Though this drives some cost up, Dan Urban, founder and CEO of Midwest Retirement Advisors, says you might be surprised at how much money you could save by living in this country. Compared to other countries in Europe, Portugal has one of the lowest cost of living, including rent, utilities, and food costs. You can spend the afternoon at a local cafe for a handful of euros, where in other countries it could cost you twice as much. While Portugal has great infrastructure, its economy isn't as developed as other places in Europe, and also has lower wages, which contribute to the low cost of living. If you move to Portugal, you can expect to save a lot of money without even trying, he says. Worst, the Bahamas. The Bahamas, known officially as the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, is a country within Lucayan archipelago of the West Indies in the Atlantic. It takes up to 97% of the Lucayan archipelago's land area and is home to 88% of the archipelago's population. When some people imagine their ideal destination for retirement, the bright sunny skies and the opaque blue waters of the Bahamas instantly come to mind. But before you head south, Urban warns against how expensive island living can be, especially in the Bahamas, since it is one of the wealthiest of Caribbean countries. How come? It's popular for tourists, which always increases the cost of living for locals. Like other island countries, a number of goods must be imported. When you factor the cost of transporting the goods and value-added taxes, the price tags quickly rise. In fact, according to one survey, the purchasing power of the average salary in Bahamas is lower than New York City, Urban shares. This means if you live in the Bahamas, the same amount of goods will cost even more expensive than in one of America's most expensive cities. It's also possible that you'd want to spend more time at the beach than working, which can make it hard to save money. Best, Peru. Peru is a country in South America that is home to a section of Amazon rainforest and Machu Picchu, an ancient Incan city high in the Andes Mountains. The region around Machu Picchu, including the Sacred Valley, Inca Trail, and colonial city of Cusco, is rich in archaeological sites. On Peru's arid Pacific coast in Lima, the capital, with a preserved colonial center and important collections of pre-Columbian art. Not only does Peru offer the metropolitan and beautiful city of Lima and ancient Inca wonders, including Machu Picchu, but you can also save a ton of money, according to Orban. The cost of property is extremely low, so you could buy or rent a house for very reasonable prices, he explains. And because the city has reliable public transportation, or Uber, Orban says most residents choose to go carless, which can be a huge saving. If you want to save even more money while living in Peru, perfect the arts of haggling, Orban says. The traditional markets sell various foods and goods, which you may be able to get for a lower price if you haggle correctly, he recommends. Worst, Iceland. Iceland, a Nordic island nation, is defined by its dramatic landscape with volcanoes, geysers, hot springs, and lava fields. Massive glaciers are protected in Vatnajökull and Snæfellsjökull national parks. Most of the population lives in the capital, Reykjavik, which runs a geothermal power and is home to the National and Saga museums tracing Iceland's Viking history. The jaw-dropping landscape goes on seemingly endlessly, and the northern lights illuminate your way. But Iceland doesn't do wonders for your budget. Urban explains the cost of living in Iceland is a staggering 42% higher than in the United States, with rent alone falling around 20% higher. Because Iceland is an island, many foods and products have to be imported, raising costs considerably, he adds. In fact, the capital Reykjavik is the 14th most expensive city in the world, and the 6th most expensive in Europe. Making matters worse, Iceland is currently going through a tourism boom, so supply and demand are increasing the cost of labor, making hotels, restaurants, and housing more expensive for citizens and visitors. Best, America. The US is a country of 50 states covering a vast swath of North America, with Alaska in the northwest and Hawaii extending the nation's presence into the Pacific nation. Major Atlantic coast cities are New York, a global finance and culture center, and capital Washington, D.C. Midwestern metropolis Chicago is known for influential architecture, and on the West Coast, Los Angeles, Hollywood is famed for filmmaking. It may not always seem like it when you're struggling to pay off your credit card every month, but America is one of the best countries for making and saving money. That's because America has one of the highest GDPs in the world and one of the strongest economies, according to Matt Dworetsky, president of Dworetsky Financial. If you choose a state with a low cost of living like Tennessee or Georgia, you could save a lot of extra money each year, he explains. Another bonus, most major cities have great public transportation, which eliminates the need for a car and related costs. Worst, Sweden. Sweden is a Scandinavian nation with thousands of coastal islands and inland lakes, along with vast boreal forests and glaciated mountains. Its principal cities, eastern capital Stockholm and southwestern Gothenburg and Malmö, are all coastal. Stockholm is built on 14 islands. It has more than 50 bridges, as well as the medieval old town Gamla stan, royal palaces, and museums such as open-air Skansen. Swedish citizens get plenty of perks: universal health care, a generous maternity and paternity leave, and generally safe, clean streets. But they come at a cost. According to Dworetsky, Sweden has an incredibly high personal income tax rate, which reached a record in 2017 at 61.85%. He also shares that its capital, Stockholm, is the most expensive city in the country, with exorbitant housing costs. Alcohol has a tax in Sweden as well. Vodka has a 40% tax and wine has 14%, so if you enjoy the occasional night out, it'll cost you. It can be hard to grow your savings account while living in Sweden, since you'll be paying more than average for basic goods and services. Best, China. China, officially the People's Republic of China, is a country in East Asia. It is the world's most populous country, with a population of around 1.4 billion. Covering approximately 9.6 million square kilometers, it is the world's third or fourth largest country by area. Dworetsky says until 2015, China was the fastest growing major economy on the planet and remains in second place today. If you set up a shop in this vast Asian nation, you'll find the everyday cost of living to be lower than in America and much of Europe, which attracts budget-conscious professionals. The cost of labor in China is very low, which helps to keep the cost of goods down. With affordable housing, food and leisure activities throughout the country, it is very possible to live your ideal lifestyle while still bulking up your bank accounts in China. Worst, France. France in Western Europe encompasses medieval cities, alpine villages, and Mediterranean beaches. Paris, its capital, is famed for its fashion houses, classical art museums, including the Louvre and monuments like the Eiffel Tower. The country is also renowned for its wines and sophisticated cuisine. Lascaux ancient cave drawings, Lyon's Roman theatre, and the vast palace of Versailles attest to its rich history. Sorry, while the ideal life would include smelly cheese, an oversized baguette, and a cheap bottle of red, saving money isn't easy in the City of Lights or anywhere in France, according to Dvoretsky. Paris is one of the most expensive cities in the world, with high real estate costs as well as pricier than average public transportation and basic goods and services. Moving out the city doesn't mean you add to your bottom line either, since rates of taxes and mortgages vary greatly. Like anywhere, the average French salary varies by location, but France taxes their workers more than most countries in Europe. Best, Colombia. Colombia, officially the Republic of Colombia, is a country in South America with territories in North America. Colombia is bounded on the north by the Caribbean Sea, the northwest by Panama, the south by Ecuador and Peru, the east by Venezuela, southeast by Brazil, and the west by the Pacific Ocean. With many of attractions from mountains to beaches to coffee farms, the cost of living in this South American nation is 54% lower than in the United States. The savings don't stop there either. Local purchasing power is 53% lower. Rent is a whopping 93% lower, and groceries are 78% cheaper. It's considered the most affordable country on the continent, with top metro contenders being Medellin, Cali, and Bogota. Worst, Bermuda. Bermuda is a British island territory in North Atlantic Ocean, known for its pink sand beaches, such as Elbow Beach and Horseshoe Bay. Its massive Royal Naval Dockyard complex combines modern attractions like the interactive Dolphin Quest with maritime history at the National Museum of Bermuda. The island has a distinctive blend of British and American culture, which can be found in the capital, Hamilton. The British territory of Bermuda is popular with tourists, but likely isn't a destination you'd want to retire to, considering it has a 100% higher cost of living than the United States, and a cost of living index of 123.57. Well, you can thank the steep price tags to the location of the country, since being on an island means many goods are imported, which raises the dollars required. In fact, Hamilton, Bermuda was named the most expensive city in the world, with only 1,000 residents to front the cost, according to the Numbeo Cost of Living Index. Thanks for staying till the end of this video. If you did enjoy this video, please do well to hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment below, and turn on post notification so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos.